In this video, we'll be discussing I've got all my certificates, so I'm compliant. Why certificates aren't the full picture. Your certificates prove a moment in time. They don't prove your property is safe today. So what's the issue? What's the problem? I've got my gas safety certificate, my EIC, my EPC. I've got all the certificates, so I'm compliant. This is one of the most understandable misconceptions out there because certificates feel like proof. You've paid for them. You've got the paperwork. They're in the folder somewhere. Surely that means that you're covered. But a certificate only tells you one thing, that on the specific day someone inspected that specific system passed. It says nothing about the rest of your property. Your gas safety certificate says nothing about damp in the back bedroom. Your EIC, your electric certificate, says nothing about a trip hazard on the stairs or mould building up behind a wardrobe or a window that doesn't open properly and creates ventilation problem. Certificates cover specific legal requirements. Gas, electrics, in energy performance. HHSRS covers over 29 different hazard categories. Certificates are only a small part of the picture, not the whole picture. So what are the consequences of this? Here's why this gap catches landlords out. A council doesn't stop at your certificate folder. If they inspect it, assessing the whole property against a full range of HHSRS hazards. Categories your certificates were never designed to cover in the first place. That's only part of the picture. You can have every certificate current and valid and still have a category 1 hazard sitting in the property. And certificates expire or become outdated. The moment something changes, a repair that hasn't happened, damp that's developed since the last check, a hazard that simply wasn't part of what was being tested that day. I've got all my certificates will not stop a civil penalty, a rent repayment order of up to 24 months away, or a formal investigation. If a hazard is found outside those certificates, councils enforce against what's actually there, not against what paperwork you're holding. So what's the solution? So don't let a folder of certificates stand in the way of the full picture of your property. Ask yourself, do my certificates cover gas, electrics, energy performance, or do they cover damp, ventilation, fire risk, fall hazards, and everything else HHSRS actually looks for? For most landlords, the honest answer is not even close. A proper Category 1 and Category 2 risk assessment survey done alongside your existing certificates, not instead of them. It's the piece most landlords are missing without realizing it. Become a free member with us. It costs you nothing, and it means your compliance picture is actually complete, not just part that happens to come with a certificate. So what is it actually you need to take? And let's just go over this quickly. Certificates are necessary. They are not sufficient, and the gap between the two is exactly where a landlord gets caught out, holding a folder full of valid paperwork and still facing enforcement. So book your free 30-minute consultation chat with us, no cost, no pressure. Bring your certificates or any other issues you may have, right? And book your risk assessment, Category 1 risk assessment survey. Become a free member. Close the gap that your certificates were never designed to close.